when you read about Moses in the Bible, I'm going to pull the book back in a minute. When you read about Moses in the Bible, the Lord told Moses to put his hand in his bosom. And we're going to tell you what happened when Moses put his hand in his bosom. He turned like the devil, the white man, and Moses got scared. So if his hand turned white, what color was it before it turned white? Common sense, it had to be black. Read. Tell them where you are.
Exodus 4 verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom.
The Lord told Moses to put his hand in his bosom. You so-called white people, you devils like to brag about being white. But listen to what the Most High told Moses. Read.
And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. That
means a complete change of skin color. He was smitten with leprosy. That's what's wrong with you white people. Running up north, moving up moving up in Europe, or to the polar ice cap, or to Antarctica or Greenland, has nothing to do with the way you look. You look the way you look, not because you didn't get enough sunlight, but because the Most High has smitten you as a race with leprosy. That's why you look the way you look.
And he said, Put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
Turned back dark brown, because Moses was a dark brown-skinned man, recognized as an African, recognized as an Egyptian in the house of Pharaoh, as Pharaoh's one of Pharaoh's, as like a son unto Pharaoh. So he had to be black, and the archaeological facts that we have shown prove that Moses was a black man. So how they gonna be black and live in Egypt and then leave Egypt? Then they'll go to Israel, then leave Israel, then go to Europe, and all of a sudden they turn white. That's a lie. Read. Tell them where you're at now. We're in the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter, the 10th verse. This is what happened to the sister of Moses for speaking against Moses, because Moses had married another black woman of another nation, an Ethiopian woman. Read.
Numbers 12 verse 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow.
So you say you're a white person, you're a leopard. You're a race of leopards. You got leprosy. That's why you go on the beach and you try to get a tan and you use all kind of sun lotions and sunscreens and get dark pills and all these type of things, because you've got leprosy. That is a curse that the Lord put on you to mark you in this earth, so that when it comes time for your destruction, everybody's going to know who the enemy is, and you won't be hard to find. Now, I want to go on another book that I have here called Our Living Bible. Now, this is a picture of 3 Jewish priests, and this is from a house joined to a church that the Apostle Paul went and taught in for about a year or so, and Peter went down there and taught in the same church in Duriaropus, which is in Upper Syria. I want to read the caption, what it says. It says, Thus the Israelite priests were dressed in white linen, and whiteness symbolizes purification from sins. Isaiah 1:18. Representations of saints and martyrs in white raiment abound in early Christian art. Similarly, the priests shown sacrificing on the frescoes of Duriaropus, 3rd century AD, are dressed in long white robes and wearing a high conical cap of the same material. What is it saying that these priests are? Israelite priests. What color are they? If you can't tell what that is, you need glasses. These are black men. Clearly, black men. And where's that photograph from? One of the oldest synagogues in the world, still standing today. Duriaropus, which the white man then went in there and tried to deface that.
Show me the reading.
Now I'm going to show you the reading. The reading is up top over here. Here's what it says. Let me get it right. Move over some more.
Yeah, you got you. I got you.
Right.
White linen. White linen.
Thus the Israelite priests, get right there. Thus the what? Israelite priests were dressed in white linen. And whiteness symbolizes purification from sins. In Isaiah 1:18. Now it says beneath that, representations of saints and martyrs in white raiment abound in early Christian art. Primarily, the priests shown sacrificing on the frescoes at Dura Europos, 3rd century A.D., are dressed in long white robes. This is during the time of Christ. Wearing high conical cap on the same material. But go back up to the top where it says, thus the what? Israelite priests. Does this devil know who these guys are? Yes, he knows that they are Israelite priests.
I want to say this. It was on the wall of Dura Europos in the synagogue of Dura Europos on its walls.
That's right.
So they can't be nothing but Jews.
That's right.
Because they were painted on those walls by Jews.
Now I want to show.
What color are they?
They're black. This is clear. Now, but I got a paradox.
I want to reiterate that again because a lot of people out there get foolish. This is a synagogue in Dura Europos,
right,
where these guys are painted on the wall.
That's right.
Then what are they?
Black. The Israelite priests. Israelite. That's what it got. The devil put this book together. He knows who they are. Now these guys ain't turned white. How you gonna get 3 guys like this? They're gonna leave Israel and move to Europe, and all of a sudden they're gonna look like Roger Ramjet. Give me a break.
That is crystal clear.
That's crystal clear. But you want to see something just as clear? Check this out. I got another book here, and the name of this book was called Our Living Bible. It's an archaeological book, a book on archaeological facts that have been dug out throughout the Middle East. Now I want to show another book that I have here. You think that's something? Let's go into get a little more personal with these priests. I just showed you a photograph of 3 Israelite priests. They were living during the time of Christ, and their paintings and their pictures were put on the walls of the synagogue in Dura Europos. And it clearly showed these men being black men. This is during the time of Christ. Now, I have another book here that I'm going to bring out called In the Shadow of the Temple. In the Shadow of the Temple. This book gets very personal with the type of things that the Israelite priests had in their personal possession, like cosmetic-wise and so on and so forth. What type of things they carried with them, what type of things they kept in their priest quarters. And we're going to dig into this thing and we're going to find out something very interesting. We just proved that the Israelite priests were black, and we showed a clear image of them being black. Now we're going to go on another book. The name of this book is called In the Shadow of the Temple by Meir Ben Dov, The Discovery of Ancient Jerusalem. This is the devil, the white man, a so-called Jew running around that dug up all this stuff in Jerusalem and found out that these guys were black. This is the devil that put all this stuff together in the book. And as soon as I can get the camera adjusted on this, we're going to see something real important. Now, get the name of that book, written by a so-called Jew. So you can't tell me that these people that live in Israel do not realize that they are not the people that the Torah speaks of. In the Shadow of the Temple, the discovery of ancient Jerusalem. What did they discover in the temple of the Israelite priests when they went into the quarters of the priests where the priests kept their personal belongings and their cosmetics and different things? Let's see. Page 164 shows what they found. What did these devils find? You're going to laugh at this one. Afro picks. There's an Afro pick at the top right there. There's one on the bottom. Look at that. Afro picks.
Wait a minute.
Now,
wait a minute.
Who's using Afro picks today? See that? That's an Afro pick. That's clearly the image of Afro. Now, when he goes, those are dice right there in the middle. The priests had these things.
Let me get the other Afro pick.
Right, now look at the Afro pick.
Later for the dice, the Afro pick.
Look at that. An Afro pick. Who uses Afro picks? Black people. Why? Because they got woolly hair. Just like Christ had woolly hair. Christ was using one of these things. And they dug all this up, mind you, out of the priest's personal quarters.
Yeah,